Mark KEHOEThe esteemed trio are to take award-winning play art on tour. Nigel Havers, who stars in a new touring production of the play, about three friends who fall out when one buys a painting, says the debate over the artwork spilled out into the audience. Matthew Warchus, who directed it originally, told us that when it previewed for a couple of weeks in the West End, someone shouted from the upper circle, "It's a piece of asterisk 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 asterisk, so what are you arguing about?" And someone in the stalls shouted abuse at the heckler, laughs Nigel. There was a tremendous argument going on in-house. The actors froze. Apparently, I am sitting in a South London rehearsal room with Nigel and co-stars Denis Lawson and Stephen Tompkinson to talk about the new national tour of art, which kicked off earlier this month. Denis, 70, who plays Mark and is famed for film roles including local hero, and as rebel pilot Wedge Antilles in Star Wars, says, "Doing comedy is my favorite thing. To make 800 people laugh for a couple of hours is a wonderful feeling, because you know you're doing them a lot of good." Stephen, 52, who has starred in ITV's Wild at Heart, DCI Banks and, currently, Sky One's Trolleyed, adds, "The audience let you know if you're getting it right. It's the most beautiful shared experience." Mark KEHOEThe Denis Lawson is in the play for the first time, but Havers and Tompkinson have starred in art before. "I love the play. It's my favorite, without doubt. It's incredible, really. It's a whole lot of words and very little action." Nigel Havers: This is the first time Denis has been in the play, but Nigel and Stephen first appeared in it 18 years ago. Stephen recalls, "Nigel and I were both rehearsing at the same time for different productions in adjoining rehearsal rooms at the Old Vic." Nigel laughs, "We used to cross in the corridor going, oh, for asterisk 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 s sake." The trio burst into laughter and Stephen adds, "All we could hear out of your room was shouting and would go, there's none of that in our production. Are we getting it right?" Nigel, 66, famous for his roles in the film Chariots of Fire and TV's The Charmer, The Good Guys and Benidorm, adds, "I love the play. It's my favorite, without doubt. It's incredible, really. It's a whole lot of words and very little action." The expertise of Yasmin, the writer Yasmin Reza, to engage an audience for that long is just astonishing. "We have such defined characters, the audience like us very quickly. They get us, they like us and they care for us. They want to see what happens to us and they are touched by the whole thing." The play deals with the issue of friendship, something that has struck a chord with the men. Denis says, "We all have circles of friends and they're very important. In my professional life, when I started I felt it was very transitory. You meet people, you have to make this very intense connection and then you might not see them for 2 years. It was kind of odd and when I started out I didn't like it. So what happens as you go along is, you make friends that stay with you and you hang on to. And they're very, very important to you in our transitory business and the way we work. I still have friends from my school days." Nigel adds, "I've lost a few recently, suddenly. And it's really hard. Because we can have so many friends. When you settle on a few they are quite important to you. I was a great mate with Warren Clark, DL and Pasco star. Warren died in 2014 after a short illness, at the age of 67. Art will tour until June and Nigel says, touring is a privilege because you get to go to lovely places. To the show at night, a couple of shows on Wednesday and Thursday and a couple on Saturday. You don't have anything else to worry you. It's like a holiday." Denis Lawson as Ewan McGregor's Uncouth trio have an impressive combined list of credits spanning stage, screen and film. I ask if Nigel can be tempted back to his role on Coronation Street as smooth-talking conman Lewis Archer, who duped Gail McIntyre. "Well, I owe Gail, I think it's 40 grand. That's got to be resolved," he laughs. Nigel was in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, in 2010 but quit in protest at an electric shock treatment task. What are his thoughts on the reality TV experience now? "It's the best time I've ever had in my life. It was fantastic and I'd recommend it to anyone," he jokes, causing the trio to break into giggles. Denis, meanwhile, denies reports that he snubbed Star Wars movie bosses and says that he was unable to star in Star Wars: The Force Awakens because of other commitments. "I just couldn't do it. And if they come back again, sure, of course," he adds. "Last year I went to Orlando to the 40th anniversary of the first film, which was extraordinary. Mad. It was in the second biggest building in the United States, rammed with about 80,000 people in various costumes, some of which were well dodgy. Wednesday, November 16, 2016. Let It Shine. The new BBC show will see Gary Barlow looking for 5 young men to star in a new take that Al Stephen ships in. It's always the hairy fellas that like to dress as Princess Leia. Denis Lawson says, yes, it's worrying. Denis is uncle to another Star Wars actor, Ewan McGregor. The pair worked on different Star Wars films but were cast together in the 2011 film Perfect Sense. He recalls, "It was very nice to act with him, it was lovely. The first morning in the makeup trailer, he was sitting in the chair and he went, 'Hello Uncle Denis.' It was really weird. And then we got on the set and it was so effortless and lovely to work together. I loved it." Mark KEHOEThe trio are looking forward to a touring schedule and Nigel is godfather to actor and comedian Jack Whitehall and jokes, "I'm hoping he's going to look after me in my old age. Normally you're supposed to look after your godson, but I only agreed to be his godfather because I knew he'd be looking after me." He sends Emmy birthday present. "When he first started, I remember I went to see him in a pub in Putney where he was doing stand-up. I said, well, that's not going to work, Jack. My advice is to get a proper job." Denis's son decided not to follow his famous father into the profession. Denis explains, "My son is a lecturer at Bristol University in anthropology. His degree was in, get this, human mating strategies. He did a PhD in. He's very interesting to talk to, particularly about women. For tickets and dates, visit arttheplay.com.